Welcome back to another video. It's Bradford v Grimsby Town match reaction. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments down below. What a massive win that is, and what a massive second half it was, because hopefully we'll be able to take that into the next few games. I think we changed from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-4-2, put Derbyshire up top with Andy Cook, with Walker to the right, Banks to the left, and midfield to a Smallwood and Gilead. And it worked rather well. I'm always a critic of the 4-4-2. I don't think it'll work in the modern day. You get overrun in midfield, but we were organised defensively with it, and I thought we were fantastic in that second half. First half, however, we started off really well. We set back into a... We just didn't keep that relentless intensity up, and we just didn't keep pressing them as much as we were in the first opening minutes of the game. And it was mainly after the first 25 minutes, that's when they got the goal, and we were basically rattled then, and we lost our heads a bit. The fans went a bit, they got a bit panicked, like we normally do, and it fed through onto a pitch, and you could see that some were losing the discipline, some were going into tackles they shouldn't have. When I actually took myself away from the game, and Banks did a couple of moves and it didn't quite work out, he was frustrated and he went down into a challenge, and I think he was lucky not to get sent off. And then when I look at the game as a whole, and it's hard to, look at that and then sort of go, well, it wasn't a red, and the referee had a terrible game, and I thought he did, because that probably were a red. But for the rest of the game, the time wasting Grimsby were doing, Emmanuel right back, and number 3 there left back, Driscoll Glennon, and there was someone else as well. They kept time wasting, and I'm sick of it. And I do have a solution for it. Just book them, quite simply. Do it. Alright, once, maybe dark arts, keep in the game, whatever. If you do it once, right, fine, you get a warning. One more time, you get booked. They had 1 booking in that game, 1, and we had 3. And for the amount of time wasting they did, it was disgusting. And it keeps happening in the Come to Valley Parade, sitting deep, time waste, and I'm glad that it didn't work for them. The goal that got disallowed, I thought it was over the line, but I'd have to say it again. And again and again, I'd have to see it quite a few times, but it looked over the line, and then to give a foul for it, I didn't think it was a foul, so that was an interesting one. But Walker got a goal, sort of like scrambled it across the line. Thought it might have been offside, but again he won. I might have to say it again, but I think it was on. Then Andy Cook's goal, brilliant play from Derbyshire, gets ball through to him in behind his man, and I just knew it was going to be a goal, because I knew that although strikers aren't good at crossing, when there's another striker in the box, they know the thoughts of where the striker wants the ball and where he's going to be. And they already have a good understanding of each other, and I knew he's going to put it on a plate for Andy Cook, and Andy Cook ain't going to miss. Goal. Won the game, and hopefully, like I say, we can take that second half into the next game. I think it's Crawley on Friday, away, which probably will suit us more, because it's away, and then we've got Sutton on Monday the 10th. So they're massive games, and we've got a team against Sutton at home, the home challenges that we have, and then Crawley. We need to keep that away form up, and we've got to go on a good run now, because those 3 draws to Walsall, Hartlepool, Newport were terrible, but we need to make a habit of scoring late goals now and winning games, controlling games as well, and we need to get better at that. I think when we go 1-0 up, we've got to get better at hanging on to that lead and not giving teams a chance of getting back into it. And I thought definitely in that first half we did miss Adam Clayton, his experience, the way he dictates play, and I like Smallwood and Gilead in the midfield too. I thought they were contenders for man of match. I thought they had great games, especially Smallwood, and then Gilead got his goal, which is something we've been asking for. Gilead to get more goal contributions and have a bit of more confidence going forward and get into better areas, and he did that. And defensively I thought he was really good off the ball, and he gives good energy. But I think I wanted the 4-2-3-1, but without Clayton, the problem with it is when you're playing them 2 in midfield, they're both boxes, they both want to get tight to players, they want to get out to players, they want to fly into tackles, and they want to get forward as much as possible and to ping passes out. Whereas Clayton will sit deeper, protect them better, and then we're not susceptible to Grimsby in transition, hitting us on the break and breaking us down quite easily, 1-2 passes in the midfield, and we did look a bit open at times, but they didn't quite have the quality to get that final chance off. But I thought, defensively much better when we got our lead, and we held on really well. got out to them as well. We didn't just park the bus, we didn't just sit in deep and just let them have as much ball as they want. We did get tight to them, and we looked like we knew what we were doing. We looked like we prepared for that, and I thought Mark Hughes' changes were really good. Chapman wasn't having the best of games, brought him off. Derbyshire, like I say, 4-4-2, it worked, went attacking. We've got to follow it through into the next game, and then into the next game, and we need to be relentless. We need to go on a good run now, and hopefully, with the tight fixture schedulings that we'll have, hopefully we can make that a habit of winning games and finishing the season strong, because I cannot cope with another season in League Two. Not only is the quality crap, of the opposition, I don't know, it happens all the time. We play against teams that just put the ball out of play all the time. The touches are terrible, but they get the points against us because they're sitting deep and they'll happily take a point. But in League One, I think it's a taster as well, this game. A bit of a more League One type fixture, local game, 2,000 fans. And I think them having so many fans probably helped us. I think they were chanting about Andy Cook all game, but he shut them up, which is also another satisfying moment. Not only did we beat a team that also time wasted all game, which is satisfying in itself, we beat a team that were chanting about our striker who scored a last minute winner, and beat a mid-table team. I can never understand this, right? Mid-table teams come towards the end of the season, come to Valley Parade, and are happy to take a point just by time wasting. It's like, well, what's the point of that? You're not going to gain out from it in the future, going into next season. That's not to gain from. I just never seem to understand it, but their unbeaten one's finished, and hopefully now, like I say, take into the next game, into the next, and be relentless, because we haven't lost. I think we've lost 2 games since the new year. We've been on a really good run, too many draws, but if we can turn those draws into wins, then we've got a really good chance of not only securing playoffs, but also trying to get into those top 3 places, because as things stand at this current moment in time, at I don't even know what time it is because my computer time's wrong, but anyway, away from that, Leighton Norwich are drawing to Carlisle, and Northampton are beating Stevenage, so I'm not too. I'd probably prefer at this moment in time if Leighton Orient go and beat Carlisle and Northampton remain that way. So that 3rd spot is up for grabs, because Carlisle have a terrible running, and hopefully teams and can nick some points away from them, so they're out of the running. And in Stevenage, they're on a bit of a blip. They do seem out of form, and if they, like I say, go and lose to Northampton, then Northampton are out of the equation as well. And that 3rd spot, I would slowly start to fancy us for it, because we've got a game in hand on Stockport, we've got a game in hand on Carlisle and Northampton. Although I would like to just leave the top 2 spots, there's a real chance for us to take that 3rd place, and I think in the playoffs it won't suit us. However, if we do go into the playoffs on a really good run, then let it be. Let's go for it. And I think that's what we've got to do now. Just go for every game and go in for it with real intensity, real passion. Go into it. Even if we're not getting behind them, the players need that mentality to go. Well, we've got to step it up. We've got to go into this game shackles off and get creating chances, get fans off the seats, and get Valley Parade rocking like it was towards that second half, because teams not only will crack under the pressure, we'll thrive off it as well, and we've got to make it an unplayable fortress, and then we probably would go up if we go on and do that. And like I say, got to be relentless, got to take into the next game. On to a player Reigns, Harry Lewis, big fan of him, fantastic season, terrible game, and he's got to be getting a 2-1 at fault. For the first goal, though, I want to see it again, because it looked like Platt were the main culprit, but again, he was at fault for it. And then the second one, I thought he could have saved, but again, I'll have to see it again. And it looked like we had numerous opportunities to get it rid in the 6-yard box, and it looked like he could have saved that. And then the penalty, it looked like he could have saved it from where we sat, but again, I'll have to see it again, because I'm not too sure, because your angle can be deceiving. So I'm going to give him a 2 on the benefit of the doubt that maybe the penalty was Platt's fault more than his, and then the penalty maybe it was my angle, and then maybe again the corner goal that were bouncing around in the 6-yard box that seemed like for 5 minutes. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, that might not be his fault either. So I'm going to give him a 2, although he could definitely get a 1. Let me know yours in the community tab as well. 1 out of 5, 3 the average, 5 the best, 1 obviously the worst. Halliday, 4. I thought he had a very good game. very solid defensively. No one really seemed to get past him, and then going forward he contributed a bit as well. And sometimes there ain't a lot of options on for him, and he does struggle with that. But I thought he had a very solid game, and he was on the good side of it as well. Defended really well. Like I say, no really came down his side. Platt, 2. I'm a big fan of Platt, but today he was terrible. He was at fault for the penalty. He didn't have the most steady game, and I did think he was quite poor. And his distribution of balls always been levelled at him is really poor, and I think it was today. But also his defensive performance wasn't the best, so it's got to be a 2 for Platt. Stubbs, 3. I thought he was better than Platt. Not his best performance, but he wasn't bad. So 3 for him. Rideout gets a 3. He's just a bang average player, not good enough for where we want to go, but he's bang average. Didn't really make too many mistakes, had a decent game. Just average. Smallwood gets a 4, and man of the match. I could have given it to so many players. Halliday's a contender, Gilead's a contender, obviously Smallwood, I'm giving it to him. Banks, if he got a bit more end product out of him. Derbyshire massively changed the game. Walker were fantastic. Not only his energy off the ball, but on it he were creating chances. Andy Cook got the match winning goal, and his overall work rate. Tussling with defenders, I thought he were fantastic. But Smallwood, for me, it was a captain's performance. Maybe when our heads were down, maybe he could have been talking to players more. Maybe that's my level with him. But there's different types of captains, and there's captains that lead by example. And I think that's what he did. Obviously, I think he had his shirt torn. I think you could see that thing that they wear to track how much winning they've done. You could see that when diving into tackles when we were 2-1 down, second half. Whoever you said to him, it lifted him, and I think during the first half as well, pinging passes, but second half, that were captain's performance, and I think, just raising those standards. He's had a couple of fantastic performances this season, and then he's had loads of bad ones, but I think that's the Smallwood that we thought we were getting at the beginning of the season, and we haven't seen too many performances of it, but when the attendance is nearly 2,000, 20,000, and the opposition are bringing around 2,000. Those big games, he stands out as a real leader and a real big game player. And I thought it was fantastic to get today. Smallwood gets a lot of criticism, can be a scapegoat, but for me, he was a standout player for us. Gilead as well gets a 4. Thought he was fantastic. Got the goal, added to his game obviously by doing that. Good strength, got wide, got a few crosses into a box again, went into tackles. And really good performance from Gilead. In the last 3, 4, 5 games for Gilead, he has been fantastic. I think I dropped him in my preview, but that was only because I wanted to get East doing it at home. I thought it suits him more. But it was really harsh to leave one of Smallwood and Gilead out. Like I said, the only problem with them two is they're both boxes. They both want to get forward and need much protection from them behind, as they both want to get tight to the man. So I think that's a problem with playing them two. But they were both fantastic today, and Grimsby just couldn't handle them. Banks, he's got to be getting 2, because although when he did come off, when he did get past his man with a couple of skills, lollipops, whatever you want to call them, when he did get round them, there wasn't any end product, and that was the repetitive nature of his game today. There was just no end product, unfortunately. But again, he did get you off your seat. He did get one-on-one with his man and take him on. And I would start him again on Friday, because I think more games that he gets under, the more confidence he gets, that end product might come to show. And he is still one of our highest goal contributors this season, which is, it goes to show how poor we've been in terms of getting goals away from Andy Cook and actually getting a consistent amount of assists. I think Halliday's got our more, so yeah, not the best performance, but again, he was quite a bright spark. Jamie Walker gets a 4. His energy, his work rate, his creative, he really good movement as well, drifting wide, got on the ball, worked hard defensively, man of match for 4 for me, and a contender for man of match. Really good performance. Chapman 2, again like Banks, but probably got back more and defended better. Not good enough on the ball, give it away too much, and he had a really poor game, and he struggled today. Definitely deserved to come off. Changed the game when he did for Derbyshire. And that was good management from Hughes, because he could have just kept him on, could have tried to play him into his form, and it just wasn't working for him. So yeah, good management to bring him off. Andy Cook gets a 4 as well. Good game from him. It's just a basic game. Gets the goal, works hard. That's Andy Cook for you. Brilliant game, brilliant win. Got to take into the next few. Players' performances have to stay to this high standard. and we've got to be beating teams like this more. And 5 goals at Valley Parade as well. It is April's Fool's Day. It does feel like it were a bit of a fantasy or a dream to come back from behind, to defend well and hold on to a lead, not concede late. Valley Parade, 5 goals, walking in the second half. Even for some people, it'd be a dream to be playing a 4-4-2. Would you stick with that in the next game? Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed and the game, because it definitely is a very fantastic game to have been gone to, and it's definitely an interesting one for how the character of the players to come back from behind. It's something that we haven't seen all season. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new, like the video if you did. Have a good one.